I wanted to thank everybody who showed up for today's Ease and Flow to Grow Your Business session over the next few weeks throughout the rest of the summer. Each week is going to build upon the previous week to help you get an idea of where to go in your marketing. And as I mentioned, like the word marketing sometimes makes people, there's like a visceral reaction. So I'll say marketing, but when I say marketing, what I'd like you to do is think showing up, sharing, spreading your message, because that's basically what marketing is. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And go ahead and go through what I call the pillars of rise above noise, right? It is so noisy out there. We know that. We talked about how social media has been just adding so much energy, and sometimes it's not great energy and it's noisy and we're trying to do all the things. So how can we show up with a GPS, knowing where we're going, having the steps that we need to follow, and making sure that those steps are in alignment with us, like they feel like flow and they give us ease to grow. So the Rise Above Noise is designed so that you are starting out with your core values, you're mastering and protecting your time. You have to gain control of your messaging so that people understand what's in it for me, right? We'll talk about that so that you can attract clients who align. So the first pillar in Rise Above Noise that we focus on today is knowing what your core values are, your mission, what Jeanette will call your why, like knowing what your non-negotiables are and knowing who your ideal clients are, who has a problem that you can solve, uniquely you can solve. So becoming clear on that is truly the first step in Rise Above Noise. Now, the other pillars, they can kind of all go together, but knowing this first is going to save you a lot of time and aggravation as we go through the next steps, which would be creating compelling content. I know this is where people get stuck, and I know that this gives people anxiety and it makes them go looking other places for answers, and they spend hours and hours on the internet looking for things. But you know what? You've got that. Let's talk about how you can create compelling content, how you can share your content so that people are helped by it. That's what we're here for, right? The third part is similar. Proof of concept is your testimonials. Who have you worked with? What was the solution you provided and what was the result they had? And also it's going to be storytelling. And I think that's really important. So that'll be on one of our weeks together in our Ease and Flow to Grow sessions. Next, and I talked about this, right? As business owners, our true currency is time and energy. We're entrepreneurs, we can make money, right? If we need to, we go get a job, right? But as entrepreneurs, we need to organize ourselves, outsource, make systems, automate, like do the things to protect your time and your energy while you are growing your business and supporting the people you're here to support. And then the last pillar right here on the illustration is keeping in touch. Some people are great at phone calls. Contact relationship management systems and networking are all fantastic when you use them properly. Of course, because I'm in the digital world, I'm going to talk about email marketing. I'm going to talk about list growth. I'm going to talk about open rates. I'm going to talk about personalizing. I'm going to talk about using email as a nurturing system, not necessarily sales, right? Sales funnels is for somebody some other time, but in this session, we're going to talk about how you can use email marketing to really nurture the people that are on your list. And all of it is so that you can be of service. I mentioned that I feel like there's a sixth pillar to this, but it's not something I personally can cover, but people in my communities do cover, which is self-care. So important. All right, so I'm going to shut this part off and go ahead and get the rest of the video going for when we started talking with Jeanette before I had turned the recording on. So here you go. As always, if you have any questions, reach out. Sorry about that, you guys. I forgot to do that.
That's okay. So my definition of your why is a bit different than what Susan was just talking about. That is her mission. I call that her stand. And I think your stand is your current expression of your why. And whether you call your why your purpose, or you might call it a mission, or you might call it a variety of things, it's why we do what we do. And I think it's a thread that weaves through the tapestry of our lives and pulls and pushes us and is, another way of looking at it. It's what we're here to explore for the universe. It's what we're here to learn this lifetime. There's a lot of different frames of reference you can put on it. But what I think it's really powerful for entrepreneurs is it helps us to differentiate ourselves in the market. It helps us in our about us, because people buy why you do what you do, not what you do, right? I think you quoted that Simon Sinek quote there. And so where this is really important is it helps you get out of bed in the morning. It helps you be clearer on your strategy. It helps you figure out how to differentiate and who you are in a way that people can kind of go, oh, okay, I need me some of that. Because we're competing in a global marketplace. There's millions of people who do what Susan do, but no one who does it as she does it and how she does it and why she does it. No one does it why she does it. And the same thing with Mary and Elaine and Fred. So I'm not sure there's millions of people who do string stuff, Fred, but there are probably some. And there's many people who have solutions to the problem that you're solving. They just do it a different way. And so you're competing with them. So they might not do it through teaching games, but they do it in other ways. So there is a lot of competition. So one of the things that knowing our why does, it helps us really figure out how do we stand out. And it also helps us with who do we serve. So that's the theme of the conversation today is how do we know those two pieces? Because I was saying to Susan, wow, that's a lot to cover in one, because I think of a Venn diagram, 3 circles that overlap. If people are clear on in those 3 circles is people, problem, solution. So draw a Venn diagram, put people, problem, solution. To really be clear on your marketing and your direction and so forth, one of those needs to be really clear to you as your starting point. Then you can figure out the other 2, but you got to have one clear. And for many people, it's either the problem you want to solve in the world. It's the thing that you want to fix. It's the thing that you want to, and typically, by the way, it's almost always what we long for ourselves. So at the beginning, I said, I want you to get that you matter and live like you do. Why does that matter to me? Well, because I always wanted to get that I mattered. I always wanted to get on the list. Never mind the top of the list. I didn't want to get on the damn list, right? And so it's what I want to, it's what I see, it's what I long for, it's what I've always been trying to get for me. And so it's what I see in other people. And therefore it's what I support them with and coach them with and support them in living into in practical ways in their business, because that's the second piece. And live like you do. So living into it matters. It's not just about examining our belly button and getting this, profound aha about, oh, here's my purpose in life. It's great. Now, how do you pay the mortgage with that? Right. So that's my kind of encouragement is figure out which of those 3 you're clear on. Do you know the problem you want to solve? So for me, I see people. Well, really, the thing I'm actually up to is ending the BS story of not enough. And BS as in bullshit and BS as in belief system, both versions. Because the not enough story runs most every human being that I've ever met so far. I'm not good enough. There's not enough time. I don't have enough money. There's not enough people who need me. I don't, whatever the not enough story is. I'm not smart enough, pretty enough, skinny enough, young enough, old enough, whatever, that gets in our way. And so for me, I spend a lot of time figuring out, well, what's the opposite of that? That's what I don't want. What do I want? That's what led to I want to get that I matter and live like I do. So really being clear on that is great, but how do I use it to differentiate myself? Because every coach really is in the job of ending the BS story of not enough. They may not articulate it that way, but that's basically the work they do. So dialing that in, getting it more clear, and figuring out what is the problem you solve. So when I talk to people, I say, I help you get your next 10 clients by doing the right thing at the right stage. That's the top level. How do I do that? I help you stop spinning in the confusion of doing all the things that are not the stage that you're really at, that the gurus tell you and sell you, so that you can actually focus on what works for you, not the cookie cutter BS that they sell you. And how do we do that? Get you back home with who you are and what matters to you, and what kind of business do you want that works for you. And how do we do that? Layer below that is really helping you get your value, get who you are, and get that you can only be the difference, that you can be the difference that only you can be, and get you busy on being that difference in the world. So it's layers, but what I talk to people about is helping them get their next client in a way that really works for them. Okay, so your job is to figure out your why, the problem you want to solve, or the solution you want to bring to the world. Sometimes people bring solutions and they're clearer on that. Then once you know what that solution is, so like for nutritionists, everything's about nutrition. Great. Well, what's the problem you want to solve with that? Or who are the people you really care about working with? Start with one of those three, get clear on it, and then go to the other two. Who has that problem? That'll help you figure out the people. Who are the people I love working with? Right? And for many of you, here's a clue. They are you 3 to 5 years ago when you got on the path of looking for the solution you're now selling. Okay? Your people are likely, or many, not all of you, who you were 3 to 5 years ago when you got on the path to creating the solution that you're now selling.
I love that you just said that, Jeanette, because, right, in my world, marketing world, that's the thing, right? When any of us are spending any time on that endless scroll, we're looking for ourselves. We're looking for the person who's been in our shoes. We're looking for the person who is talking about the problem we feel that we're having right now, right? So you said that, right? What's in it for me? They want to know what's in it for me. Why should I spend 20 minutes talking to Susan on a discovery call? Why should I go to her, little sessions that she's having? So I love that you're saying that. I don't want to cut you down because you're in your, but I also want to know, I want folks to know that I'm being mindful of the time. We are a little bit just at 2:30. I'm here to hang and ask, and you can ask questions and everything. Over the next few weeks, we can dig into this some more. Oh, that's awesome, Marcy. And I was going to say, I'm going to give you guys some homework, right? Like, don't just leave this and go, oh, that was nice. Aren't those ladies nice? Like, do some homework for yourself. You don't have to pass it in. I'm not going to grade you, but I would say to you, listen to what Jeanette had talked about. Figure out one of your parts of the Venn diagram she described. I would also invite you to understand, to maybe you share that next time, or if you already know, you can pop it in the chat. What is your superpower? And it wasn't until I really went deep into my superpower that I understood one of my differentiating factors for myself. As Jeanette said, there's so many people that do what I do. I'm calm. I'm a calm and patient teacher. I put people in a container of support. I know that's my superpower. And I know that's how I differentiate. I'd be curious to find out what you guys are as well. And that's why I choose to work with the people that I do, because they're usually the people who are going to thrive in that kind of an environment. I'm not, I don't whip you. I don't push. I do the thing. So what's your superpower? What are your clients worrying about? And why does it matter? That's all anybody ever wants to know. Why? What's in it for me? But I interrupted you, Jeanette. Did you have anything else to tie that all together?
I do. I want to give you a couple examples because I was just looking through the chat here and listening to your introductions earlier. And I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to follow up on Susan's invitation there to dive deeper and to share your information. if with you guys' permission, what I'd like to do is kind of just give you a variation on what you've put here. And you try it on. If it fits for you, great. If it doesn't, let it go. We haven't talked, so I don't really know. So I'm making this up based on intuition, guesses, and 40 years of experience. Okay. So Marcy, I'm willing to bet you don't do what you do because your son came home with a bad photo. I'm willing to bet that you have spent a lifetime championing those who don't get seen and who are what people might call the underdog. I'm willing to bet that you went to bat for people when you were young because they were being picked on and not cared about. That's why you do what you do. That's what you want to talk about. One bad photo for your son is not your lifetime of passion and commitment. It's what put you in the direction of the focus of your stand right now, but it's not why you do what you do. So I invite you to drop into what is the heart behind that? What is the thing in the world that you're trying to fix every time you take a photo that honors that person, that has them be seen for the light in them? All right. And Kathy, again, same thing. All of you, don't lead with what you do. I don't care if you sell Melaleuca. In fact, it's likely to turn me off because it's another product pitch. Why do you care about people being healthy? Why do you care about people not having toxins in their life? And I'm willing to bet you grew up with people who struggled with health, whether it was you or other people, and you are tired of seeing people pay prices that they don't have to pay. There's something in your heart that has you care and stay in a challenging business, because any network marketing business is challenging, because you care about making a difference to the environment or to people or to health or to well-being. Why do you care about that? What drives you to make you stay in this work for this long? There's something you care about. And Fred, stop selling string games, for the love of God. No one's going to get that that's worth paying a lot of money for. Engaging kids, getting them to think differently, having them be more creative, whatever it is that's the means to the end of, sell that. And why you care about it. Why do you care about having kids have more fun and joy in their life? Why does it matter to you how and why they learn this? That's why you do what you do. And it's not about the kids and it's not about Cat's Cradle. It's about this thing that you've been your whole life. And so looked back to what is the theme, and the same thing for you, Mary. Why do you care about taking things off people's plates? What is it that gives you joy in that? What is the problem that you really want to solve? And it is in its expression right now, taking overwhelm off of entrepreneurs' shoulders. And what is the theme that's played out in your life? You are the person who does the hard work so others don't have to. Why does that matter to you? That's my encouragement, guys. Are you seeing where I'm pointing in terms of the why you do what you do? It's not what you do. It's why it matters to you. And that's what makes you matter to them. You got it?
Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Jeanette. And as we're going through this summer series, I hope that you'll stick with us, invite your friends. This is like drop in kind of thing. It's not like nobody can come now that we've already started. Come every week. And now what we'll be doing is talking about everything Jeanette just said. How does that translate now into how you show up in the world? Like, what is marketing? It's all the things. I'm going to probably, I wish I could find another word. I'm just going to say it's called showing up. It's sharing and showing up, because marketing gives people kind of a visceral feeling. And I want people to feel comfortable in sharing and showing up, because somebody woke up in the middle of the night last night and you could have been their solution if they only knew where you're at, how to find you, and exactly how to engage with you. Is there anything anybody would like to touch upon before we wrap this session up? If you have any questions, go ahead. You can email Jeanette or you can email me. I'll be sending a follow-up email with the recording later on. In the meantime, if you haven't already, you can go ahead and join the Rise Above Noise Facebook group, where we have similar conversations. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat there if you're not already there. We have daily prompts. People are sharing a lot of collaborations happening. So you might enjoy heading in there and seeing what's going on in there. It's not too heavy. It's pretty light and airy. No salesy stuff, except on threads if I invite. All right. Any last minute words, Jeanette?
One of the things I would love to offer, and I don't actually do this anymore for free typically, but I love you and I support you. And so I want people to get going in terms of being clear on your message so that you can avail yourself of Susan's brilliance in getting it out there. And so one of the things to be clearer on is, why do you do what you do? So I'm putting in the chat a link to book a complimentary Why Whisperer session. Oopsie, I put it in the wrong place. That will be like, it's basically an hour long where we deep dive into what your why is and how to frame it and how to use it in your about us and your various different things that you do. Thank you, Elaine. I appreciate that. And like I said, I normally am charging for that now. So please do go ahead and feel free to book that if you can see, if you think that would be of support. And I just really highly encourage you to show up for this conversation with Susan, but most importantly, implement it and create support for the implementation. So that's her program, that's working with a coach, whatever that may be. Create support for the implementation, because coming here and getting ideas and then going away and doing nothing just widens the gap between what you know and what you're doing, and that takes you out of the game more than it puts you in. So please commit to getting support, and she's brilliant to support you with how do you talk to people in a way that attracts them so you can be in service.
You can be in service. That's the thing. Somebody needs you. Thank you so much. If there are no other questions, I'm going to go turn my air conditioning on. I just realized it's kind of warm.
I put in there my link. It's kind of in the middle, but there's my Facebook group.
Oh, I see. There's 2 links in there.
Audacity Action Heroes that you're welcome to join for free as well. And then the link for the call is there separately. Anyways, great to meet you and congrats on showing up. And my encouragement would be to write down one thing right now that you're going to take away from this and go do.
Please.
So Susan, what did you gave them some suggestions about an action step. So what's one of those action
So the
steps?
action step is to get clear, like do that Venn diagram. What is your superpower? Who are you showing up for? Maybe it's figuring out your why. Although I think figuring out your why is hard. They'd be very smart to grab that from you. I did not go, like I said, it did not go where I thought it was going, but it was so enlightening. It was so worth it. I've told Jeanette things I had never told people before. And see where you're going, because the next thing we're going to talk about is, now that you know who you're speaking to and from where in your heart you're going to speak to them, now what are you going to say to them and how are you going to share it? So that'll be the next 2 weeks. All right, my friends, signing off, turning on the air conditioner.